props here on Friday, April 19th. We get the last two playing games here. Should be some two good games here, competitive games. Both games 1.5 point spreads. I got one player prop from each game here. We are coming off a 2-0 video last video I made on Wednesday. We had Tyler Hero over 32.5 fantasy. He cashed, and then Bogdanovich over 29 fantasy. He cashed. So 2-0 run. Definitely looking to continue that today. I got two player props here. Before I get started, you guys take a look in the description below. Hop into our premium Discord. $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. It's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. Also some other cappers in there as well. They post all their plays. Again, super positive community. Link in the description below for that. Also, if you guys do find any value in this video, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button. As you can see, you can go down my channel. I try to post content like this all the time, but let's not waste any time, you guys. Let's just get right into it. Two player props. I'm going with two fantasy scores here. I think in these competitive games, right, where there's going to be high minutes for a lot of these players, I like to target fantasy score. So, let's just get into it. So the first play is going to be Jaime Jaquez over 26.5 fantasy. So looking at this matchup, Jaime is probably going to be slotted into the starting lineup with Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier both out, right? Projected minutes for Jaime, probably 27, and I could see him playing 30-plus minutes tonight. I just don't see a scenario where you don't play him 30-plus minutes, especially with DeMar DeRozan on the floor. Jaime is really going to be that best option to guard him. But taking a look here, right, on-off court stats with Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier off the floor this season, at home, Jaime Jaquez per 36 averages 33.3 fantasy points, which is 0.9 fantasy points per minute, right? So around, what is that? Probably like 7+ fantasy points per 36 from what his projected line is currently at, right? So we look at Jaime Jaquez and we look at his splits, home versus away. He obviously, as a rookie, averages more points, slightly more rebounds, same amount of assists, shoots similar field goal percentage. So the home versus away splits aren't really impacting us here, but he has been playing really well. So we look at Jaime this season versus the Bulls, right? He's over in 3 straight, and as a rookie, he did this all back in his first half of the season: 34.6, 30.8, and 34, and 33, 34, and 35+ minutes, right? He's kind of been on a nice little run as of late. If we go over to Outlier, again, link in the description, you guys get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. So first, we take a look at Jaime Jaquez this season. When he plays 27+ minutes, he's over this line in 25 of 44 games. But if we kind of zoom out, right, over his last 5, he is coming off 2 games to end the regular season, played extremely well. He is over this line in 4 of his last 5, had 47 fantasy in an overtime game against Toronto, and then had 38 fantasy in an overtime game again against Toronto again. So 47 and 38, and then in that play-in game, he finished with 24 fantasy points in only 22 minutes, and that was with Jimmy Butler on the floor. So like I said, I think now with Jimmy Butler out, Jaime's floor for this game specifically, I feel like it has to get jumped up to like 27, 28+ minutes at least, right? And I mean, there's obviously the scenario where Spoelstra plays him 36+ minutes, which would just be insane. Obviously great for this player prop. But again, link in the description below. You guys get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. This season, let's just do these filters, right? So obviously last 5, when he plays 37+ minutes or 27+ minutes, he's over in 4 of his last 5. If we look at over his last 20, right, this has a decent hit rate. Obviously, if we do this 2023, right, when he plays 27+ minutes at home, and then we filter when Jimmy Butler's out, right, he's over this in 5 of 7 games. But I just love the hit rate versus Chicago. I think Chicago is a great matchup, right? We know Chicago bleeds a ton of catch and shoot threes, and we know Chicago bleeds a ton of rebounds and assists to the power forward position. I think actually, let's see, they allow the second most rebounds to the power forward position and the 15th most assists. So I mean, in a scenario where, like I said, Jaime can see 28+ minutes, right? I just think this has a super high chance of hitting the floor. Obviously, for being the floor for this play being just extremely high. We can see the hit rate when Jimmy doesn't play. And then you can also see, let's just look at something like this. So fantasy score I'm like this season, logging, let's just say he gets 30+ minutes tonight, which I think he's going to. I just can't see a scenario where the Heat don't play him 30+ minutes, right? So 30+ minutes. This has a pretty decent hit rate as well. Or let me filter this at home. At home real quick, right? Let's see the hit rate for this guy. Yeah, I mean 20+ in every game. He's over this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of 14 games total. Or sorry, 11 of 15 games. He's the over on this line. Like he said, he played 30 plus minutes at home versus Chicago back in December, 34 fantasy points. And I mean, he's been playing well. I think he's going to see, to end the season, he's had 15, 12, and 11 field goal attempts. I see without any question 10 plus tonight. It's a great spot. Jaime Jaquez over 26.5 fantasy, over in 3 straight versus the Bulls as well. The second play is going to be Jonas over 26.5. So again, both these plays here super interesting. Obviously, both these guys are going to start, but this Jonas play obviously has a lot of injuries just because of the minutes that he may or may not play. But let's just get into this. So right off the bat, you guys, Zion's out, right? Zion's obviously out here. And in games this season, a game like this season without Jonas, right? Without Zion. Jonas is over this game in line in 9 of 12 games, okay? But the key here is the minutes, right? We see these minutes for Jonas, 20 plus in every game, 22 plus, 26, 28. We look at Jonas's averages this season without Zion, right? He averages 27.6 minutes per game this season through 12 games without Zion. We know Jonas is already with Zion going to play more minutes because of Sabonis, right? Sabonis being on the floor, Jonas has to just play more minutes, right, to match up with the size. Right, so 27 minutes per game average without Zion. Okay, that's just the simple filter. No Zion. Without Zion, 27 plus minutes. If we go to outlier, Jonas this season, when he plays 25 plus minutes, he's over this line in 29 of 31 games. Just 25 plus minutes. If we jump this up to 27, he's over this line in 26 of 26 games. You guys, 26 of 26. Okay, so that's just the filter without Zion. Right now we go. That's just the filter with 27 plus minutes. We somehow, we take Zion out the equation with 27 plus minutes. Look at this. 53, 52, 44, 44, 44, 43 fantasy points, okay? That's in 27 plus minutes without Zion, right? Now we get rid of this filter. Let's just go to 20 minutes. We go to head-to-head. Look at these matchups versus the Kings. 40, 27, 48, 30, 30, 30, 32, and 35, 30.5. But the minutes have been strong, right? Even his last game, in this game against New Orleans, Sacramento, which was this was a regular season game, but it had playoff implications. Jonas played 33 minutes in that game, you guys. 33 minutes. And that was with Zion, right? 33 minutes with Zion. Jonas, this season with Zion off the floor at home, averages 43.5 fantasy points per 36 minutes. 1.2 fantasy points per minute. We know if Jonas gets the minutes, he's going to hit this line. He averages 1.2 fantasy points per minute over his last 5, and on the season, he's averaging 1.19 fantasy points per minute, right? So if you do simple math, if he sees 20 plus minutes, very, very high odds to hit the over on this line, right? I just think it's a great spot. I think Jonas, like I said, minutes versus the Kings have been extremely high. If we look at Jonas Valanciunas, let's just go to his, let's go to this, right? So his fantasy score game like this season versus the Kings, 21, 28, 29, 22, and 33 minutes. Okay, no Zion now. Zion clogs the paint, right? Jonas clogs the paint. It really allows Jonas to just dominate the paint against a kind of a weaker defensive center in Sabonis. So 2 plays for this YouTube video. Jaquez over 26.5 fantasy. Valanciunas over 26.5 fantasy. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and as always, have a great day. Let's cash.